For more than 60 years, Jeff Bridges has captured audiences with his charm, warmth, and undeniable talent. From his breakout role in The Last Picture Show to his unforgettable turn as the Dude in The Big Lebowski, Bridges has remained one of Hollywood's most beloved and enduring actors. His calm, laid-back personality and magnetic screen presence made him not just a star, but a cultural icon. Yet behind the smiles, the relaxed interviews, and the image of effortless, cool fans have always sensed there was something deeper, something he wasn't saying out loud. For decades, rumors swirled about Jeff's struggles with self-doubt, his reliance on his family, and the personal demons he faced when the cameras weren't rolling. Whispers about the pressure of living up to his father Lloyd Bridges' legacy never fully went away. Fans quietly wondered if the man who seemed to glide through life had actually been fighting harder than anyone realized. Now, at 75, Jeff Bridges is finally speaking out with a level of honesty he once kept hidden. He's opening up about his career, his family, his battles with illness, and even the moments where he nearly lost it all. And in doing so, he has confirmed what many suspected all along, that behind the calm smile was a man who struggled, endured, and survived, proving that true strength lies in honesty and resilience. When Jeff Bridges was born on December 4, 1949, in Los Angeles, his destiny seemed almost written for him. His father, Lloyd Bridges, was already a successful actor with a strong reputation in film and television. His mother, Dorothy, was a writer and actress herself, and his older brother, Beau Bridges, was already beginning to step into the family business. To outsiders, the Bridges family looked like a Hollywood dynasty in the making, a family whose children would simply inherit success. But what Jeff has now revealed is that this golden path wasn't as simple as it looked. Growing up, Jeff wasn't always eager to join the spotlight. He has admitted that as a child, he sometimes resented the constant connection to Hollywood. His father, Lloyd, was often away on set, working tirelessly to provide for his family, and though Jeff admired his father's dedication, he also longed for something more ordinary. He wanted to paint, to play music, to discover who he was outside of the fame that had already been written into his family's story. Yet the pull of acting was impossible to escape. By the time Jeff was a teenager, he was already appearing in television shows alongside his father. For years, fans suspected that Jeff may have struggled with the pressure of living up to his family's name. Now, at 75, he has admitted that those suspicions were true. He confessed that early in his career, he often felt like he was living in the shadow of Lloyd and Beau. Every time he landed a role, he wondered whether casting directors truly wanted him, or whether the Bridges name was simply opening doors. That uncertainty weighed on him, feeding a quiet sense of imposter syndrome that lingered for years. Even after his Oscar-nominated performance in The Last Picture Show at just 22, Jeff admits he still battled doubts. Critics praised him as a natural talent, but Jeff himself sometimes questioned whether his success was earned or inherited. He has since confessed that this struggle pushed him to work even harder. Every role, he said, became an opportunity to prove, to himself and to the industry, that he was more than just Lloyd Bridges' son. What makes his story even more fascinating is the way he handled that pressure. Instead of letting it consume him, Jeff leaned into a kind of relaxed authenticity. On screen, his characters often carried that same laid-back charm, and audiences believed it came naturally. What they didn't see was the intense preparation, the self-questioning, and the quiet drive to carve out his own legacy. Over time, Jeff would become one of the few child actors from a famous family, who not only matched his father's reputation but ultimately created a career that stood firmly on its own. He has now admitted that this balance between gratitude for the family name and the burden it carried shaped his entire approach to acting. He says his father never pressured him into the business, but Lloyd's encouragement and guidance made it feel like a natural path. Yet Jeff wanted to find his own voice within that path, and that pursuit defined much of his early years. At 75, looking back, Jeff Bridges says he is finally at peace with the idea that both things can be true. He benefited from his family's legacy, and he also earned his place in Hollywood through talent, resilience, and hard work. It's an admission that confirms what many fans long suspected, that beneath the relaxed smile was a man constantly working to prove that he wasn't just a product of Hollywood royalty, but an artist in his own right. To the world, Jeff Bridges was the epitome of calm, effortless charm. His roles often carried that same energy, whether it was the free-spirited Dwayne in The Last Picture Show, the stoic Rooster Cogburn in True Grit, or, of course, the Dude in The Big Lebowski. Fans loved him for what seemed like a natural ease, a man who never tried too hard, yet somehow always delivered a performance that left a mark. But as Jeff has finally admitted, that public image wasn't always the whole truth. Behind the smile and the relaxed persona, Jeff struggled with private battles that stretched across much of his life. For years, whispers circled about whether he had faced substance abuse in his youth or whether his laid-back image was a mask for deeper insecurities. At 75, he has confirmed that those whispers weren't entirely unfounded. He admitted that there were times when his reliance on alcohol and drugs threatened to derail not just his career, but his sense of self. He has spoken candidly about how fame can amplify insecurities. On set, Jeff was surrounded by talented actors, directors, and producers, and even after decades of success, he sometimes questioned whether he truly belonged among them. He described it as a quiet but constant battle with self-doubt, a voice that told him he wasn't good enough, no matter how many awards or glowing reviews came his way. For an actor known for playing characters full of confidence and cool, this inner turmoil was a hidden contradiction. But there was another side to Jeff's battle: love and stability. In 1975, while filming Rancho Deluxe in Montana, Jeff met a young waitress named Susan Geston. What started as a chance encounter turned into one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories. The two married in 1977, and over the years, Susan became Jeff's anchor. He now admits that she was the steady force that helped him confront his struggles and keep his life on track. Where fame tempted him with excess, Susan reminded him of the importance of family, honesty, and simplicity. Their marriage lasted through the highs and lows of Hollywood, raising 3 daughters together and maintaining a bond rarely seen in an industry known for short-lived relationships. Jeff has since confessed that without Susan, his life may have taken a far darker path. She provided the stability he needed to face the battles within, grounding him when his self-doubts threatened to consume him. Professionally, Jeff also learned how to channel his struggles into his craft. He has admitted that his personal battles made him more empathetic, more attuned to the vulnerabilities of the characters he played. When audiences watched him bring depth to roles in films like Crazy Heart, for which he finally won an Oscar, they weren't just watching an actor perform. They were seeing a man pour his own experiences of pain, self-reflection, and resilience into the story. What fans had long suspected, that the easygoing Jeff Bridges was more complex, more scarred and more human than he let on, he now openly acknowledges. The smile was real, but so were the insecurities behind it. His ability to move forward, to love deeply, and to keep creating despite the struggles is what made him not just a great actor, but a deeply relatable human being. At 75, Jeff Bridges no longer hides these truths. Instead, he embraces them as part of his journey, proving that even the most admired figures carry battles behind their smiles. And in sharing this, he's confirmed what his fans always knew. His strength didn't come from perfection, but from perseverance. In October 2020, Jeff Bridges stunned the world when he announced that he had been diagnosed with lymphoma, a form of cancer that attacks the body's immune system. The news shook fans who had always seen him as a picture of strength, a man whose easy smile seemed untouchable by the hardships of life. For many, it was the first time they realized just how vulnerable their beloved Dude really was. But what Jeff has since revealed about that period of his life confirms that things were even more dire than anyone imagined. At first, Jeff approached the diagnosis with his trademark optimism. He reassured fans on social media that his prognosis was good, and he thanked doctors and loved ones for their support. But behind the scenes, the battle was grueling. The chemotherapy treatments were physically draining, leaving him exhausted and frail. Then came an unexpected and terrifying twist. In early 2021, while undergoing treatment, Jeff contracted COVID-19. His immune system, already weakened by chemotherapy, left him especially vulnerable. Jeff now admits that during those months, he came perilously close to death. In interviews since, he has described lying in the hospital, unable to roll over in bed without assistance, struggling for every breath. At one point, doctors told him his immune system was so compromised that even the smallest infection could be fatal. He recalls moments of looking at his wife and children and wondering if he would ever make it home again. Fans suspected at the time that the situation was worse than the optimistic updates suggested. Now Jeff has confirmed that their fears were justified. He revealed that his battle with COVID was so severe, he questioned whether he would survive from one day to the next. He described the experience as being ready to go at times, even finding a strange sense of acceptance in the face of death. But what makes Jeff Bridges' story remarkable isn't just how close he came to the edge, it's how he came back. Through months of treatment, physical therapy, and an unwavering support system, Jeff slowly regained his strength. He learned to walk again, to breathe without assistance, and to rebuild the life he nearly lost. He credits his family, especially Susan, for giving him the motivation to keep fighting. He also leaned heavily on his lifelong practice of meditation and his belief in gratitude. Jeff has said that the ordeal changed him in profound ways. He no longer takes simple things for granted: the ability to walk outside, to hug his grandchildren, to step onto a film set. He calls life after illness a gift and insists that every day now feels like a blessing. What fans had long suspected, that his brush with death gave him a new perspective on life, has been confirmed by Jeff himself. He admits that he came away with a deeper sense of humility and appreciation than ever before. When he finally returned to acting, starring in the television series The Old Man, it was more than just another role. It was proof that he had survived, that he had rebuilt his strength, and that his passion for storytelling remained intact. At 75, Jeff Bridges looks back on that near-death experience not as a tragedy, but as a turning point. He admits it stripped away all illusions of invincibility, forcing him to confront his mortality head-on. And in doing so, it gave him a new outlook, one that fans can now see in his words, his performances, and his very presence. So what is the truth that Jeff Bridges has finally admitted at 75? After a lifetime of rumors, speculation, and quiet suspicion, the beloved actor has laid it all out. The calm, grounded, endlessly likable man that audiences see on screen is real, but it didn't come easily. It was forged through decades of pressure, self-doubt, private battles, and near-death experiences that shaped him into the person he is today. Fans long suspected that Jeff's effortless presence wasn't simply the result of luck or family privilege, and Jeff now confirms it. He admits that the public's perception of him as the dude, the relaxed and carefree figure from The Big Lebowski, isn't just a character, it's also a reflection of the man he has worked hard to become. But beneath that ease lies a history of battles that gave him perspective. The insecurities of his youth, the burden of his family legacy, the challenges of addiction, and his brush with death all shaped the wisdom that now defines him. At 75, Jeff speaks with a vulnerability that he once avoided. He no longer hides the fact that his career wasn't always as smooth as it looked, or that his personal life required constant effort and balance. He admits that his wife, Susan, and their family are the foundation of his survival, and that without them, he might never have overcome the storms he faced. In a Hollywood culture where marriages often crumble and careers are marked by scandal, Jeff's devotion to his family is perhaps his greatest achievement. He also acknowledges something that fans have quietly believed for years, that acting, for him, has always been about honesty. He never chased fame, never forced himself into a mold, and never abandoned his natural instincts for showmanship. His performances resonated because he poured his real emotions, struggles, and experiences into every character. From the broken-down country singer in Crazy Heart to the haunted ex-lawman in Hell or High Water, Audiences weren't just watching Jeff Bridges act, they were watching him reveal himself. His near-death experience during his cancer battle only deepened that honesty. Jeff now says he has nothing left to prove, no masks left to wear. He admits he's grateful for every breath, every hug, every chance to keep telling stories. And in that admission lies the truth that fans suspected all along. Jeff Bridges' strength is not found in perfection, but in his humanity. Today, his legacy extends beyond his Oscars, beyond his box office successes, beyond even the cultural phenomenon of the dude. It lies in his resilience, his ability to live with gratitude, and his willingness to show vulnerability in a world that often hides it. At 75, Jeff Bridges has finally confirmed what audiences have always sensed, that his real gift isn't just his acting, but the authenticity he brings to everything he does. The truth about Jeff Bridges is simple, yet profound. He is a survivor, a husband, a father, and a man who has embraced every flaw, every scar, and every triumph as part of his story. Fans suspected this all along, and now Jeff himself has said it. At 75, Jeff Bridges has finally admitted what we always knew, that his greatest role has been himself,